The MMORPG genre is one of the biggest genres out there, with loads of games that have captured the attention of millions of players worldwide, and today we are going to be taking a look at one of the largest MMORPGs, The Elder Scrolls Online. I'll be trying to answer all of the questions you may have to help you decide whether or not it's worth playing in 2022. I'm going to cover topics like what is the game like for people who want to play solo or in a group with both PvE and PvP content, how much customization is there for your character, what is the monetization system like, and is the population still thriving in 2022 for all platforms? So let's dive right in. First up, let's talk about solo and group content. Whether you are a fan of playing solo or with friends, this game has a ton of content in just the base game alone, to have you playing for hundreds of hours. ESO features a fully voice-acted questing experience that isn't a boring, go get 10 of this and bring it back kind of experience. Both the main story and DLC quests are engaging and fun to participate in. ESO has a total of 20 zones to explore, which does not include any of the DLC zones. Everywhere you go, there are quests that can be done no matter what level you are or who you're with. If you have a friend that's been playing for a long time and you are brand new, you can play with each other from very early on regardless of level. And if you don't feel like doing quests, well, there are 24 base game dungeons to explore, as well as world bosses to fight and world events like dolmens to participate in. The Elder Scrolls Online is one of the largest sandbox MMOs to explore, and it lets you do it your way on your time. Another cool thing about ESO is every class can play any role. Sure, some classes are better at certain roles, but you can most certainly create a Dragon Knight healer or a Templar tank. One thing to note about this though is the fact that you can get away with this because most of the PvE content in ESO is very easy. Outside of trials in certain arenas, and even some dungeons on veteran mode, most of the PvE content will feel like your game's difficulty is set to the easiest setting. This is because Zosa stated they want the game's content to be beatable by even the most casual of players. ESO does have a guild system which allows you to find people with similar interests, so if you're struggling with a certain quest or dungeon, joining a guild is easy and most are friendly and will help you out. So if you're worried about lack of content for either a solo or group, don't worry because ESO certainly has you covered. Next, let's go ahead and talk about what PvP looks like in ESO. The game features a couple of different modes for PvP. You have Cyrodiil, which is the large open world where each of the three factions are facing head to head to gain control of the region. It also has Battlegrounds, which is the smaller scale PvP with 3 teams of 4 fighting each other. PvP in ESO has been some of the most fun PvP I have ever experienced in an MMO, but unfortunately for years the game has struggled with server connection issues, especially in Cyrodiil. Zosa stated many times that the issues have been a focus for them, but still to this day we have no improvements to show for it. To simply put it, PvP in ESO when it's working correctly is the best PvP in any MMO out there, but the problem is it's rarely working correctly. With Zos unable to fix the lag and lack of understanding how to properly balance gear sets, PvP is a never-ending mess that doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. Many of the veteran PvP players of ESO have left, and unless Zos performs a miracle, they won't be coming back. Many people feel like the PvP community has been left behind due to the developers' desire to focus on the game's PvE content because, well, that's what makes them the most money. So they do whatever they can to appeal to those players, so hopefully they will spend actual money on the game. So if you were hoping for a great PvP experience in ESO, this probably isn't the game for you, unless you're able to put up with the lag and are willing to grind for the overpowered gear sets. Now let's go ahead and talk about the customization / monetization. There are a ton of possibilities when it comes to the ways you can customize your character to make them really truly feel unique. But of course, Zos has to make money somehow, and they chose to put the coolest weapon, gear, and mounts inside of the game's crown store, which is where you can spend actual money on the stuff in game. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of stuff you can unlock by just playing the game, but some of the stuff won't even come close to being as cool as the stuff inside of the crown store. One of my few major complaints about this game is its monetization system. It is at this point, and it has been for a long time now, where they almost shamelessly put so much stuff into the crown store all of the time. It seems like they purposefully made certain parts of the game so slow in order to try and get you to purchase things from the crown store to make things go faster. For example, your mount. There are 3 categories for your mount that all have 60 points to upgrade to, and you can only do one of these 3 categories a day. That's right, so that means you will literally have to play this game 180 days in order to get a fully maxed out mount in ESO, and that's not even character wide. So that means you will have to do this on every single character you play. So what does ZOS do? They put writing skill books in the crown store with hopes that you will spend money on the game in order to advance quicker. At this point in gaming, this really doesn't come as a surprise because of how popular things like this are, but ZeniMax has found a way to make their monetization feel like you have no choice but to spend money, even though that's just not true. It's just an insane grind for some things. Finally, let's talk about whether or not ESO is thriving in 2022. Getting completely accurate information on the game's overall population is hard because ZOS does not release that info, but at least on PC and from what other content creators say, the game is still very much alive. In almost every zone you go to, you will see tons of players all across the zone participating in PvE content, and as far as the PvP population, well, like I said, PvP is in a tough place right now, and from the looks of it, a majority of the player base is focused on the PvE aspect of the game, so regardless of what platform you play on, you won't have an issue of playing a quote-unquote dead game. So do I think Elder Scrolls Online is worth playing in 2022? Well, with a cheap base game price and the ability to subscribe for however long you would like to unlock all of the content in the game, I definitely think it's worth playing in 2022. I think we can all agree the MMORPG genre is in a weird place right now, and for a long time ESO has managed to stay on top, and it's definitely for a good reason. That's going to wrap it up for this review though. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.